Let's go to the University of Texas at Arlington, political science professor, our friend Dr. Alan Sachs. Dr. Sachs, how are you, sir?
Good morning. Thank you so much.
The president commenting that the full weight of justice will fall on those responsible for yesterday's attack. Was it wise of him to not use the T word?
A lot of people, I think, are very frustrated. Here on the college campus, most of the students and a lot of the faculty say he did exactly right. You don't want to jump to any conclusions, and his vocabulary was very right, his political vocabulary. However, if you listen to a lot of the radio talk shows last evening, as I was doing, just to see a little bit of everything, see what's going on the campus, see what's going on out there in the general public, there seems to be a lot of frustration with the president's language, and they're saying that it was an act of terror. And one person said, if it talks like a duck and walks like a duck and squawks like a duck, it's a duck.
Oh, Professor Sachs, excuse me for interrupting,
correct.
But what is that duck? Most people define terrorism as something that has a political or ideological bent or intent behind it, and that can be either foreign or domestic. Is that how you see it, or?
Well, in fact, I just heard one Democratic congressman say on the floor of the House of Representatives, I think it was from yesterday, and it was a nice speech. He was, trying to talk about his heartfelt sympathy for the people of Boston, and he's a congressman. And he distinguished it. I never heard this. He said there's official terrorism and unofficial terrorism, and I'm giggling at it, but not in a laughing way. I'm trying to figure out what he meant by official terrorism and unofficial terrorism.
Right.
I guess the official terrorism would be if there was a claim of responsibility. Somebody comes out and says, yes, we did it, here we are, and this was our motive. I guess that'd be official terrorism. Unofficial terrorism is you never find out, but it certainly looks like it.
I'm sorry. I have a difficult time understanding those who wrestle with the concept that a cowardly attack on the public.
I do, too.
Of course, we don't know what the political motives are. It happened. It's not a gas explosion. It's not a gas main line explosion. It is a bomb. It's two bombs with projectiles in it. It is an act of terrorism. I just don't understand the need to wrestle with this issue.
I don't either. In fact, already there are some websites that I've been looking at. Some Israeli websites say they know exactly what it was. It was terrorism because the Israelis and other parts of the Middle East have experienced the same thing. Shrapnel, ball bearings in the explosive devices, and apparently that's exactly what took place yesterday in Boston.
Well, even if the president hasn't, at least not yet, used the word, we are hearing that the White House and the FBI, they have both acknowledged that this is a terrorist act.
Yeah. It's also likely to impact in some way an immigration bill that was due to be talked about, and I think they're going to try to get it done very quickly, this immigration bill, where we had 4 Democratic senators and 4 Republican senators get together and try to get this bill through quick, an immigration bill that talks about illegal immigrants, 13 years to citizenship, a pathway to citizenship. One wonders how satisfactory that's going to be. And securing the borders first is, of course, what Marco Rubio, senator from Florida, wants to have happen. And it's interesting whether or not, if indeed this is someone with a student visa. There's some speculation that this was a Saudi young man with a student visa. If indeed that turns out to be true, will that impact this immigration debate any?
That's a good point, and that was going to be one of my questions. Do you think it is vulnerable if indeed it is an act of Islamic terrorism and it's somebody who came in from another country? Do you really think the immigration bill is that vulnerable?
I don't think it is really. I think they're going to, form the wagon train, close the wagons and try to get this immigration bill through because President Obama wants another piece of legislation. He already has what is called Obamacare, and now this would be another major piece of legislation on immigration, however well it would work or not. And we're talking about a 13-year pathway to citizenship, and one wonders how well that's going to be done. It's all in the enforcement. And also, we're going to try to tackle legal immigration as well as illegal immigration. So it's a huge immigration bill, and Senator Rubio is right. Our immigration bill is very tortured, very long, hard to understand. And by the way, this new immigration bill is also tortured and very long. It's about 1,500 pages, and one can guess that probably very few of the senators have read it all, and the same thing is probably true in the House as well.
Dr. Sachs, thank you so much for your insight. Dr. Alan Sachs, UT Arlington political science professor, a guest on 710 KURV.